what you're seeing here is the opening screen of the Kali Linux appliance that's provided as a part of open source agreements and new licensing, new spelled GNU. And essentially, when the first screen comes up, the password is, the user login is Kali and the password is Kali. And that's how you log in. One of the things we want to emphasize is the ethical use of forensic tools. And in the recent references for forensic tools that I've emailed you, and it's going to be a part of the taxonomy of forensic tools. That'll be the last reference we post today. You'll notice that Kali was not listed. Kali was not listed as a forensic tool that's considered to be a notable or credible option, and that's because most often Kali is also used for other purposes, for ethical hacking, for penetration testing. It's kind of a Swiss Army knife, and so because it's not exclusively designed for forensic interests, it's not listed, but it still includes all of the different all of these other things. And we want you to become familiar with Kali generically, because if you're taking this course, the odds are pretty good you're a part of our cybersecurity concentration, and in other courses we'll be using other tools to conduct other legitimate cybersecurity activities. That said, you can use or misuse any cybersecurity tools, even those that are exclusively dedicated for forensics, meaning you can turn the forensic tools from a tool suite like EndCase, and you can invade people's privacy intentionally. It's not recommended. You can go to jail for that in certain jurisdictions, or you can end up facing a lot of serious legal action for violating people's privacy. But the point is, all of these tools require a certain sense of responsibility. Just a finer point about starting the virtual appliance. Once it's loaded and you have it working, if I didn't mention yesterday, you want to be sure that you start it by hitting the pull down with the green arrow and selecting detachable startup instead of normal startup. If you're running this on a laptop that has power save features, what will happen is that if there's any kind of glitches or hiccups, if the battery runs low and it goes into a power save or sleep instance, it can crash or halt your forensic operation, and that can be a serious issue. So if you switch user, so what you want to do is run it in detachable mode. That's something I thought I would mention why we had this this screen up. I'm going to be emailing you this form, and essentially what we're going to do this morning is read through it together. It's an affirmation of agreement, acceptable use policy, forensic tools, and it has our legally authorized logo. This is, official letterhead of the University of the Virgin Islands. And when you receive this Word document, what you're going to do is you're going to insert your full name here. So you're going to type out your full name, and then you're going to read through this. It's not going to change between the time we read it here and the time you receive it, but it's always a good idea just to read through it to ensure that it wasn't modified or things didn't change. But This is the version that I want you to sign off on. We don't have the benefit of electronic signatures. So what we're going to do is basically have you insert your full name here and at the bottom here. So you're inserting your full name above and below, here and below, here. When I say full name, I mean your full legal name, including your middle name. And then you're going to either put 2 A's, you're going to intentionally enter AA here, or you're going to intentionally enter DD here if you don't agree with it. If you don't want to, you're like, no, I'm not going to agree to this. What exactly are you agreeing or disagreeing to? You agree to use all forensic resources in an ethical and legal manner. This includes all freely available open source tools and any tools provided as a free trial. Are there any questions at this point? Does anyone have any questions? Can someone respond so I know you're still there?
No questions, Professor. Good up.
Okay, all right, thank you. I was just wondering if everybody was there. Okay, so I'll continue here. This record is established electronically by the intentional insertion of AA below, insertion of my legal name above and below in the space provided, and submission of this document using my UVI logon for Blackboard. So the thing that makes this real, when you insert your full name here, and you put in AA down here, the metadata of this file is going to change. What do I mean by metadata? When we look at the information of the Word document you submit, it's going to show last modified by you, right? Last modified by you, or whatever your login name is, but that's going to be associated with your identity on Blackboard. So between the metadata of the Word document, you're making the intentional changes to either agree or disagree. That's going to be the legal trail of documentation that we use just to affirm that you understand you're using this for good and not for evil, right? You're going to say, so it says, I hereby affirm that I have not shared my Blackboard login or password with others. I agree that I'm going to put digital here, digital forensic tools and methods provided by the CSC 343 instructor, whether commercial products or open source, will only be used to investigate the digital artifacts provided for course assignments and solutions. That means you're not going to use these tools to investigate other juicy things in your environment. Let me repeat that. That means you agree to use these resources to investigate the artifacts for our courses to the exclusion of other juicy digital artifacts in your environment. By these actions I take to freely establish my agreement, I affirm that I may also exercise the option to use these tools and methods only for my own personal technology devices and systems at my own risk. I agree to refrain from all use of these tools and methods for other purposes on any other device or system or network owned or operated by third parties. This includes, but is not limited to, other family members, friends, fellow students, or employees of UVI, acquaintances or strangers, or any other persons living or deceased on planet Earth. Now, does that preclude you from using these resources to help somebody who requests your assistance? No. So I'm going to include the term unsolicited here. did I include that word? If someone, a family member or a friend or a fellow student, requests that you help them and use these tools for something good, that's not a problem. We're talking about use of the tools where nobody asks you to do anything and you're just, it's like pointing a laser. Has anyone ever seen the cute little laser pointers you can buy for $5? You know, like in convenience stores and dollar stores and department stores. You use them for presentations and stuff, right? It's terrific with cats. Do people know what I'm talking about? A little laser pointer? Has anyone ever seen the little, it's the size of a pen or a marker, and you can push a little button, there's little watch cell batteries in there, and it beams a laser pointer? Has anyone ever seen something like that being used?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are fun, and they become like attractive nuisances because when you start messing around with those, you find out that cats are driven crazy with those. So it becomes like a fun thing to use on almost everything. And then you start shining it on other objects and you find out that physical objects take on a different appearance altogether when they're subjected to coherent light, to laser light, right? So you shine it on wine glasses and crystal, stuff like this. The point is that if you're not careful with a laser, some of those reflections can actually burn the retina of your eye, and they have cautions on there, right? So, you know, if you read the fine print on a laser pointer, it says, hey, you don't just want to use this indiscriminately, right? The point is, we want everybody to understand that there is an obligation to use the knowledge, skills, and abilities that we're about to engage for good, and only when solicited. When people request your help, by all means, I mean, that's the whole point of learning this stuff, is that you can do good with it and you can help others. It's important to distinguish, though, where the hard boundaries are. And so if people are not requesting your assistance, you want to make sure that you don't, well, you don't point the laser just to see what happens, right? Figuratively speaking. It's all fun and games until the cat runs off the end of the counter trying to chase the laser printer and falls into, you know, falls into something really bad and falls into the aquarium. I don't know. Point is it's all fun and games until something bad happens. This stuff can really get away from you. There's a lot of cool YouTubes about, you know, how to use all of these Swiss Army knife applications. And once you get inside here and you start exploring, you're going to want to take them out for a spin. I don't have any problem with anybody doing this on their own devices or systems. But I do want you to understand that some of these tools, when you use them on your own devices and systems, if you use certain features or functionality, it is possible that your devices or systems will never be the same after you subject them to some of the tools in Kali. Does everybody understand this? I need to hear from every single person one at a time from the start of the roster on down. Aaron, did you hear what I just said? And do you understand? Aaron?
I think you can only text Professor.
Oh,
So, yeah.
well, can you chat that you understand? Let me see if we can. Oh, okay, you're here. So you do understand that if you use these tools and you're not careful, things can change. And there are cases where they're never the same again, right? Keem, can you affirm that you just heard and understand what I related?
Yes.
Okay, Amaya? Going down the line? Amaya?
I'm here.
Okay. Did you catch what we were just going over?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yeah.
You understand? All right, Deanna,
I understand.
Kenesha? Hello, Kenesha? All right, well, you get the point. The reason we're going through some formality here is so that people understand that these are serious tools that are used by professionals, and there are consequences. Milan, do you get it?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, Schneider? Going once, going twice, Schneider? Tevin?
Professor Kentop,
Mm-hmm.
Tevin told me to let you know that his internet went out, so he can't rejoin class.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I feel his pain, and I understand. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post this online right now. I'm going to email you. We're going to stop sharing and stop recording. I'll stand by to make sure everybody got a copy and see if you have any questions. And all you need to do is put your full legal name here, your full legal name there. Read through this and then affix a double A here in place of the underline, or a double D if you don't agree. All we're doing is establishing a legal record of your agreement or your dissent, to say, yeah, I don't want to be bound by this. And if, if I get something with a double D, I will talk to you about alternate assignments and reports you can write instead of solutions for the rest of the semester. Okay. All righty. So